In Norse mythology, the Valkyries are female warrior deities who serve Odin, the chief god in Norse pantheon. According to the Prose Edda, Odin sends the Valkyries to every battle. They allot death to men and govern victory. The primary purpose of the Valkyrie was to select the most heroic of the warriors who had died in battle and to carry them off to Valhalla, Odin's Hall of the Slain, where they became the deathless einherjar, lone fighters, who were to fight at Odin's side during the eschaton, Ragnarök. As Norse deities, the Valkyries belonged to a complex religious, mythological and cosmological belief system shared by the Scandinavian and Germanic peoples. This mythological tradition, of which the Scandinavian, and particularly Icelandic, subgroups are best preserved, developed in the period from the first manifestations of religious and material culture in approximately 1000 BCE until the Christianization of the area, a process that occurred primarily from 900 till 1200 CE. The tales recorded within this mythological corpus tend to exemplify a unified cultural focus on physical prowess and military might. Within this framework, Norse cosmology postulates three separate clans of deities: the Aesir, the Vanir, and the Jotun. The distinction between Aesir and Vanir is relative, for the two are said to have made peace, exchanged hostages, intermarried and reigned together after a prolonged war. In fact, the most significant divergence between the two groups is in their respective areas of influence, with the Aesir representing war and conquest, and the Vanir representing exploration, fertility and wealth. The Jotun, on the other hand, are seen as a generally malefic, though wise, race of giants who represented the primary adversaries of the Aesir and Vanir. The primary role of the Valkyries was to swell the ranks of Odin's deathless army by spiriting the best of the slain from the battlefield away to Valhalla. However, it appears that there was no clear distinction between the Valkyries and the Norns because Skuld, for instance, was both a Valkyrie and a Norn. Though the extant texts are silent on the ultimate origin of the mythic Valkyries, many of the well-known Valkyries are reported as having mortal parents. Some scholars now suggest that the original Valkyries were the priestesses of Odin, old women who officiated at sacrificial rites in which prisoners were executed, given to Odin. These priestesses sometimes carried out the gruesome sacrifices themselves, which involved the use of a ritual spear. By the time of the Poetic Edda's compilation, in the late 12th or early 13th century, these rituals had given rise to legends of supernatural battle maidens who took an active part in human conflict, deciding who should live and who should die. Henry Bellows, in the notes to his translation of the Poetic Edda, proposes an alternate interpretation of this historical timeline, suggesting that the conception of the supernatural warrior-maiden was presumably brought to Scandinavia in very early times from the South Germanic races, and later it was interwoven with the likewise South Germanic tradition of the Swan Maiden. Complication developed when the originally quite human women of the hero legends were endowed with the qualities of both Valkyries and Swan Maidens. In the mythological poems of the Poetic Edda, The Valkyries are supernatural deities of unknown parentage. They are described as battle maidens who ride in the ranks of the gods or serve the drinks in Valhalla. Conversely, in the heroic lays section of the same text, the Valkyries are described as bands of warrior women, of whom only the leader is ever named. She is invariably a human woman, the beautiful daughter of a great king, though she shares some of the supernatural abilities of her anonymous companions. In the first of the three Helgi lays, Helgi Hjorvarsson is accosted by a band of 9 Valkyries, the leader of whom, Svava, is the daughter of a king called Eilimi. In the second and third lays, the Valkyries are led by Sigrun, who is the daughter of King Hogni. She marries the hero Helgi Hundingsbani and bears him sons. The most famous of the Valkyries, Brynhildr, is also a human princess. In the Sigurdrifjamul, the Ballad of the Victory Bringer, she is never named, being called simply Sigurdrifa, Victory Bringer. In the corresponding passage in the Volsunga saga, however, she is identified as Brynhildr, the daughter of King Budli. Okay, that's all from Valkyrie's story. If you have a request or suggestion, you can write it in the comment below. If you like this content, please share this video to your friends, your family, your girlfriend or boyfriend. And don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Thank you all.